So we want to do it again. Imagine that, we're just flipping through the tests. We're at the test. Always picture yourself there. Question 11, something like that. We got a long way to go. And here comes a question like this. We're not solving for X. We're not figuring out what X is. There's no word problem. We can start getting frustrated and say, when would we ever use this in real life and all that other stuff? Well, let's again look at what we're doing. All we're really doing is that's a fraction and that's a fraction, and we're adding them together. And when we add fractions together, we talked about that bow tie method where you do some steps real quick. The steps are this. First things first, we multiply across the bottom whenever we add or subtract fraction. And that would be 12. And then if we kept going, we do this. 4 times 2 is 8. We elevate the sign. Plus 3 times 1 is 3. I forgot the little hat on that thing. Add those two together. Whatever that answer is goes on top. And that's how we add and subtract fraction. Well, what do we want to do in a situation like this? We want to fight. And this is worth the fight. And if we look at these intentionally confusing fractions, and go, well, what can I do with this? At the very least, I know when we add fractions, we do that nifty little move where we go multiply across the bottom. That was our first step. And 2 times x is 2x. And at that point, we can stop because that shows up here and here. This is a trap because it's saying 2 plus x. 2 plus x. Well, we must add those together, but we don't. We know when we add or subtract fractions, to solve them real quick, just multiply across the bottom, multiply that way, lift the sign, multiply that way. So it's all multiplying stuff. So right there, we got to a 50-50. Because 2 times x that's going to be a multiple of those two things. And those two things are garbage, so we can throw them away. Now, there's a thing on the test called a flag. And if you hit the flag, that turned it into a P. If you hit the flag button, the flag is like that thing on Family Feud in the showcase showdown at the end, where you can pass and then they come back to the question with Steve Harvey. So you can take a choice. So I just got my 50-50 just by calming myself down and going, when I add fractions, I multiply across the bottom. So that would be 2x. Whatever's going up top is up top. I got to my 50-50. I'm just going to look at it and just sort of click one. And I have myself a 50-50 shot of getting this question right. Plus, when I hit the flag, if I have time, it'll come back to it. And if it comes back to, and if I have time and it comes back to that question, I didn't want to do that. I would not just, because it's not, I'm not saying it's easy. I would finish all this stuff out. That's x times x plus 3, which is a jump the fencer. X times x is x squared. X times positive 3, that's that jump of the fence, and then this jump of the fence. That's that, and then we're going to add that plus this, which is another jump the fencer, field distributed property. We're going to figure this out. We jump the fence, 2 times 3 is 6. X comes on down. 2 times -1 is -2. Now all we do is forks, knives, spoons, get stuff together. X to the second power plus, positive 3 plus 6 is positive 9. minus 2. That's the stuff that would come on down on top right there. And that's why C is the correct answer. But you can take it in stages, get to a 50-50, do a little bit of the math, and go, well, at least I know on the bottom I'm multiplying. And then hit that flag button and be a fighter, you know. Some test questions are going to get us. No boxer ever walks out undefeated champion. Rocky Marciano, he got punched a lot. So lowest common denominator or least common denominator is multiplied across the top. There's the jump the fence thing. They're doing it just like us. And then we add them together and blah, blah, blah. So it's worth the fight. Believe in yourself. Even if you can get a piece of it done, get to that 50-50 and fight.